I used to think the world was full of stupid people. I may have been right the first time, but that's no way to live. A more charitable opinion I hold now is that people don't bring their mental A game to every situation. It's physically impossible. The brain would burn out trying to calculate the most cost-efficient, nutritious, morally righteous breakfast when you could just eat cold leftover pizza and get on with the day. Papa John's better ingredients can be found elsewhere. So on occasion, fighting for consumer rights means fighting the consumers themselves. Notoriously, the JCPenney effect surmises that people's purchases are emotion-led. People would rather pay more for a pair of pants that has a big red bargain sticker on it than that exact same pair of pants without the sticker at a lower price, thus disincentivizing honest business and incentivizing predatory practices against themselves. Sometimes greedy, hungry corpos are taking us for a ride, and sometimes maybe you just have bad taste in men. Riot Games recently released a limited-time super fancy cosmetic collection in the League of Legends store that'll cost around $420 to $500 to obtain. I'm not going to pretend to know the best bargain exchange rates of League currency. People aren't too happy about the price, which is kind of odd at face value. It's like sending hate mail to a car dealership because you can't afford a Lambo, and saying they're predatory for daring to have it in the same lot as the beaters. But we're not taking this scenario at face value. The skin is a special first-of-its-kind commemoration cosmetic honoring Faker's induction into League of Legends' new esports Hall of Fame. It's a big deal. When asked about the price of the skin, Riot Game director Pugh Liu responded, "What we really think about on the morality side is that there are players who are willing to spend $200 a month on their hobbies." Liu continues, "God knows how much I've spent on Warhammer figures, but it's really important that we capture that willingness and that ability to spend." I'm not going to make excuses for him. Bringing up the word morality and phrases like capture that willingness and that ability to spend sends up more red flags than the Mexican soccer team when they're down in the second half. However, he does a better job of clarifying his views on free-to-play monetization. If a lot of people that didn't have a history of spending on League all of a sudden buy the signature bundle, we'd be like, oh God, what have we done? But if these people historically have spent money on skins, new bundles give them a new avenue to support the esports ecosystem with a 30% revenue share. We believe that there's actually such a thing as having too high of a percentage of your players spending in a free-to-play game, because that means your free-to-play experience relative to your paid experience is not good enough. What Director Liu states, that most of the people who play free-to-play games never spend money, is correct. I've done a lot of my own research and have been privy to such information. During a heated moment back in August of 2019, an Apex Legends developer alluded to this fact and Respawn's own skin sale experiments. He called the community freeloaders. They weren't too happy about that. That same year, Congregate's Tammy Levi went into more detail during a GDC talk about why nickel and diming players doesn't work. And if you do manage to make a non-spender pay for something, it's highly unlikely they'll become a repeat spender. Big spenders are big spenders by their nature. Usually they make way more than the average gamer and spend on non-utilitarian cosmetic purchases like horse armor. Or on the off chance that they are a problem spender, it's rare that it's exclusive to video games. Probably spend more on DoorDash fees or something. Regardless, both ends of the monetization spectrum, fair to predatory, are in agreement that tricking people to spend money isn't profitable. Statistically speaking, a lot of people crying out against the skin's price tag weren't going to buy it in the first place, even at the lower $40 price. That doesn't mean their righteous indignation is wholly unjustified. I don't mind high-priced cosmetics, but I think virtual limited availability is a dodgy practice. This skin is the equivalent of a Michael Jordan Hall of Fame jersey, but you don't need a factory to create them in perpetuity. So why not keep it up or bring it back seasonally like the McRib? Keep the price, hell, raise it after a year. Let the high spenders wave around their big wallets. I was with Director Liu when he said it was about morals and selling exclusive items to big spenders. Why price it at over $400? Because it's a high-cost cosmetic for the high spenders, and we'd rather do that than try and convert free-to-play non-spenders. Fair enough. Why limit availability? Let me answer that question with another question. Do you want to make money, or do you want to make more money? Even though studies have shown that you can't really influence how much people spend, the jury's still out on whether or not you can influence where people spend. Anchor purchases are designed to keep you tied down to a game account and make it less likely for your credit card to float off to another game. They're not too easy to define, nor are they all predatory. Is Steam full of anchor purchases because my ever-expanding library makes it less likely for me to leave for a different marketplace? Are Deep Rock Galactic's battle passes predatory, even though they're free and can be completed whenever? You need a lot of context to make that call. Limited time skins in video games, however, are a type of anchor purchase fully designed to keep you locked in and are not an imperfect solution to any problem. They are a problem. There is no weighing of pros and cons of morality. Simply, do we want to make money, or do we want to make more money? The other part I want to go over are the extenuating circumstances that, while not predatory, still feel scummy. I am an outsider to League of Legends, the game. I played once to impress a girl, uninstalled, and faked my death immediately afterwards. But I am no stranger to the esports and content creator scene. I'm a cutie pie. Look at the flash, look at the moves. Do it? Arcane, the Magic Seeker. I can get into the club, I just don't dance. Commemorating one of the greatest gamers to ever exist is a monumental moment, yet it's been soured by a subset of obnoxious gamers and corpo greed, but it's not a 50-50 split. I don't believe the skin should have been made cheaper because Director Liu was right the first time. Most free-to-play people don't spend, and targeting luxury buyers is fine. I find loot boxes more predatory than high-priced direct purchases, but there's a certain subset of gamers who cry holy war against any in-game monetization and should be noted as being unreasonable. There's another loud subset of spenders that demand everything be catered to their low price range or everything be given out for free. Those are the people that incentivize businesses to use predatory practices against the rest of us. But of this blame game, I still assign 60% of it to Riot for using virtual scarcity, another 10% for exploiting the community's reverence for the League of Legends GOAT, another 5% because the skin's not a direct purchase, you need to use their in-game currency, and another 5% for being a global leader and potentially setting bad trends. In the end, I'm not saying Riot or gamers are idiots, I think maybe they weren't bringing their mental A games. Maybe Director Liu needs to reconsider what morality means or how far they're willing to see it out the door. I understand, maybe he wasn't the one who priced it and was overruled by someone in accounting. But it is still worth mentioning that saying nothing was also an option. That's an option and a right I'd recommend some gamers exercise instead of being the boy who cried FOMO whenever they see a purchase outside of their tax bracket.
If you've been waiting your whole life for the ultimate asteroid mining simulator, then you're in luck. Delta V Rings of Saturn is here, and it's a game that understands the importance of science in science fiction. The physics-based mining sim drops you in a world where every action has a reaction. Precision spaceflight means a mistimed thruster burst could lead to major ship damage, or your hold barfing up all your precious minerals. Will you unravel the mystery of the rings, or just spend your time getting rich? Because while money can't buy you everything, it can buy a ton of cool things like fission reactors, experienced crew members, or pogs. Delta V Rings of Saturn may or may not contain 90s era schoolyard games. Please consult a doctor if you remember pogs, as you are old now. Delta V Rings of Saturn is available now, so head on over to its Steam page today.
You know, maybe it's not the best idea to encourage people to assign blame based on an arbitrary numerical scale. But I think I'm at that point where I'll take any kind of personal accountability, even if it is based on pontification percentages. It could teach people that fault isn't exactly an all-or-nothing situation, leading us to having a little more sympathy for one another in our individual struggles. Or it could backfire on me and add the CinemaSins effect, where a lot of people see it as a joke initially, then it gets a big crowd of believers, and then, oh my god, why are you taking it so serious? Could be good, could be bad, I'm 50-50 on the matter. We'll see how I feel when I wake up in the morning.